Hello everyone, welcome back to Ifechi Family. Still on our Tuesdays Japa series. Last time I talked about lack of planning. Today, leading up from that lack of planning, some things have come up and I want us to address them today, which is, as you're planning, have you asked these questions? I'm married and we haven't got children. Do we go together as couple? Or will one person go first, another person will join? Or you have children, do we go with our children at the same time? Or both of us go and leave our children with their grandparents, if you have one? Or will one person go, another person will stay with the children? These are questions that you need to ask and answer appropriately before you decide to jack back. I've told you my own story. When we came, remember, when we came and now are totally different times. When we came in the 80s, my husband came ahead of us because he won the British Council Scholarship to do his master's. And his master's was through research, so it was a 2-year program. He was only paid £350 at the time, and they're not going to add anything else if he wants to, and that's just meant for one person. And then he told them he's married, newly married with a young son of 18 months, and that he will not want to be here without his family. And they said to him, up to you, but we're not going to give you more than we are giving you, which is a £350. Mind you, that £350 was for house accommodation, feeding, clothing, house bills, and whatever else. And you and I know that although at that time things were not as expensive as they are now, but nobody lives with that on that kind of money on their own, never mind bringing their family. But his priority was his family. He told them that he's prepared to give the scholarship up and go back to Nigeria if he's unable to bring his family. That is how serious he took his marriage, his relationship. So it is not one size fits all. What worked for us then may not work for you. Even at that time, it did not work for some people. So I wouldn't even say because things have changed. No, even at that time, it did not work for some people. Some people made different decisions. So make sure that you discuss with your spouse and decide, because these two questions are very, very important questions to ask, especially when children are involved or a child is involved. Decide how you want to do it. There's this story of a man and woman who decided that the man will go ahead of her, gather some money first before they don't have children at the time, and then the wife will join. They were legally married, everything done. So the man left to the UK. I don't want to go into the ins and outs of the story. One thing led to the other, and the man got involved in somebody else and got committed to that person here because he saw something he thought was better than the wife he left back home. How will you have heart to do that? That means that some people are not really sure of what they're getting into or who they're marrying. If you really are committed to somebody, out of sight will not mean that you start looking at other people. You have to make sure that you actually know the level of commitment and the level what marriage means to you. So that was how the lady, and he did not come out right to tell this lady the full story. She was hearing news from here and there. This person will say, oh, your husband is doing this or a person is doing that, and the wife back home did not, people start telling tales to her, oh, your husband is already married to somebody else, oh, this is happening. But she did not want to believe because of the way she committed to that marriage. And each time she will phone her husband, he will sound good. Oh yeah, I'm still working on it. Meanwhile, he was living with another woman. Why? That's a deceit to the highest order. Why will you do that? And you're wasting the woman's time. She was waiting and waiting, and eventually dawned on her when the waiting became too long, and he had to confront him. And he did not, he knew that the wife already may have heard from people, and then he admitted it. But at that time, it was getting on too late for the woman in her life, and she was very, very distraught. This is so sad. We have to decide. Let Japa or relocation not cost you your marriage. If you really know that this is the person that God joined both of you together, you have to work at things together. If it means coming together and managing as we managed at the time, we managed a lot of managing to make ends meet, because that's what we wanted to do, to be together and raise our child, and then the other three followed in the process. You have to decide what you want to do. What works for one may not work for the other. So decide. Don't say, oh, my friend went with her children and it worked so well for them. No. You don't know the situation of things with your friend. Some people do not share everything with you. So do what works for you. I'm not here to tell you this is the best way or that is the best way. No, because what works for A may not work for B. The important thing is to put everything into consideration. Do we come together? Do we leave the children? Do we come with the children? If we leave the children behind, remember, you have those children, you produce them, so it's your responsibility to raise them up, not their grandparents. It's your responsibility. And even if you're going to leave them behind, let it be for a very short period. But unfortunately, one thing, things happen, and sometimes the children are being raised for a long time by their grandparents. I have seen occasions where it happened, and then eventually they came to the UK to meet their parents, and it was okay. So as I say, it's not things are so different for everyone. So decide how, in the process of your planning. So today's topic is about these questions. How do you come? Do you come together? How do you work things out? Remember, here nobody has time for anybody. Plan very well. Those children are your responsibility. If you are coming with them, make sure that they are well looked after. Do not leave them unattended. I'll come up with those videos where people have done that and what it has resulted in. That video will come up. But this video, as I said, this series will be in very, very short videos so that you can watch to the end. I'm going to stop this one here, but this is the question that you must ask and discuss before you Japa. Next time we'll talk about different things. There's a lot of things to come up from this series, so watch out for the next series on Tuesday next week by God's grace. Goodbye and God bless.